All right, if you're building anything with AI, you know the struggle, right? How do you get those amazing, high quality results without completely blowing your budget? Well, today, we're going to dive into two really powerful strategies, model routing and ensembles, that'll help you build way smarter, more efficient, and yes, cost effective AI systems. Let's get into it. This right here, this is the goal. This is the whole idea we're chasing. Just imagine having a system that's so smart it automatically picks the perfect tool for any task you throw at it. No more using your most powerful, most expensive model for a super simple question. This is all about building systems that can think, adapt, and optimize themselves on the fly. So, we're going to tackle this with two main techniques. Think of routing kind of like a smart traffic cop, directing every single request to the one best model for that specific job. Ensembles, though, they're more like a team of experts, a committee, bringing multiple models together to work on a problem and come up with a superior final answer. Two different tools for two very different but equally important goals. Okay, first up, let's talk about model routing. The easiest way to think about this is as the smart dispatcher that sits right at the heart of your application, deciding exactly where every single piece of work needs to go. So, what is a model router, really? Well, it's a system that's built to make that intelligent choice. It looks at a request and it asks questions like, okay, how hard is this, really? How much should I spend on it? And what level of quality do we actually need here? And then it picks the right model. I mean, you wouldn't use a supercomputer to run a calculator, right? A router basically makes sure your AI system doesn't make that same kind of mistake. And the process itself is actually super straightforward. First, the router analyzes the incoming request. Is it a simple yes-no question, or is it some kind of complex multi-part analysis? Second, based on that analysis, it picks the best fit model from all the options it has. And finally, it sends or routes the request to that model and gets the response back. Analyze, select, route. It's simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Now, there are kind of two main flavors of routers you can build. On one hand, you've got heuristic routers. These run on simple if-then logic. Think, if the user's message says urgent, then use the big, expensive model. They're super fast and pretty easy to set up. On the other hand, we have learned routers, which are way more sophisticated. They actually use another, smaller AI model to decide which of your main models to use. This is perfect for more nuanced tasks where a simple rule just won't cut it. A little more complex to build for sure, but often way more accurate. And a quick pro tip, when you're building a system for the real world, you absolutely need safety nets. I mean, what happens if your chosen model just fails or it's taking way too long? That's where fallbacks, like having a backup model ready to go, and timeouts come in. These are totally essential for making your system robust and reliable. Don't skip this part. All right, let's switch gears to our second strategy, ensembles. So if routing is all about picking the best individual player for the moment, ensembles are about creating a championship-winning team through pure teamwork. An ensemble, to put it simply, is a technique where you just don't rely on one model's opinion. Instead, you send the very same request to a bunch of different models, and then you intelligently combine their outputs. The goal here isn't really to save money. It's to dramatically boost the quality and the reliability of that final result. So how does this combining actually work? Well, there are a few common ways to do it. You could use voting, where the most common answer wins. This is great for classification stuff. You can average out numerical scores, which is perfect for things like sentiment analysis. Or, for the most advanced setups, you can use what's called a meta model, which is another AI that's trained to know which of your other models to trust the most for certain types of tasks. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so we have these two strategies now, routing and ensembles. How do we bring them together to solve that core problem every single builder faces? How do we get that top-tier quality but at a cost that doesn't make us cry? This is where the practical magic really happens. Okay, check this out. This chart just perfectly shows the magic of routing. See, the cheap model on the left, yeah, cost is low, but the quality kind of stinks. The expensive model gives you that amazing quality, but wow, look at that cost. But now look at the routed system on the right. It manages to get that same high quality, but by only using the expensive model when it has to, it keeps your average cost somewhere comfortably in the middle. It is truly the best of both worlds. So here is the key strategy, the big takeaway you can use today. Figure out the simple, high-volume tasks your app handles all the time and send those to a fast, cheap model. Save your big, powerful, expensive models for the really complex jobs where their brain power actually matters. It's all about being strategic with your resources. But listen, the best systems aren't built once and then forgotten. They evolve. To really master this stuff, you have to think in terms of a continuous loop of improvement. It's never really done. And that loop looks just like this: route, measure, and refine. It's that simple. First, you put your routing logic in place. Then you measure its performance. Are you actually hitting your cost targets? Are you hitting your quality targets? Finally, you use that data to refine your rules. Maybe you find out your simple model is smarter than you thought, or maybe a rule needs to be a little more specific. This cycle is exactly how your system gets smarter and smarter over time. So let's end with this question. I'm sure you have an AI system running right now, taking requests, giving back results. But is it running smart? Could routing, or maybe even ensembles, help you deliver way higher quality at a much lower cost? Well, now you've got the tools to find out.